Happy New Year. Welcome to my January 2025 budget. I'm Julie, and this is Julie's Rich Life. And this budget is all about having our budget, our conscious spending plan reflect our values, our goals, and our dreams, and what really matters to us, and thinking about that each month. I think it's always helpful when you're watching these budget videos to understand a little bit about the life of the person who is budgeting. So if you already know that about me, or you don't care to know that, just go ahead and skip this chapter. But I am happily married, a mother of 3 adult children, and I have 1 grandchild. And my youngest 2 adult children do live with me. 1 hopefully will be moving out pretty soon. Looks promising. And the other child has special needs and will live with us until he enters some kind of group home, which we hope to do sometime in the next few years. He's hoping to be able to have some employment before he does that. Although that's hard to do. That's really hard to find people who are willing to hire people with certain disabilities. Mainly, our values reflect providing for my son in the future, providing for my granddaughter's education, living a life that is as stress-free as possible with a lot of fun. Now that we're on the other side of debt, mostly we have more money for fun. And then investing for our retirement. I own a small toddler community, which I teach in, and it's very long days, hard days sometimes, though I enjoy the teaching component of it. There's a lot of other things like, the cleaning and the cooking and all that, that I do look forward to retiring from that part of it, and look forward to retiring to shorter days, whatever I do after that part of my life. And my husband's a middle school teacher. He wants to work till he's 62. I want to work at this job anyway until I'm 56. So our investing amounts reflect that. All right, so that's a little bit about my life there. I don't share income because that's my husband's income too, and this isn't his channel. And I don't share my giving because that's just my values that I think money should be talked about, but I don't think like your personal giving should be bragged about or shared with others. Like, one hand's not supposed to know what the other hand's doing according to my faith as far as giving. But my giving is to my place of worship, to charities. I have a spontaneous giving category so that, if someone I know is raising funds for a particular cause, or there's someone I know with a GoFundMe account, I have money already budgeted for spontaneous giving. So I know I will probably give that money away, but I don't know to whom or for what. And then I also have another category to help out family members or people I know that might need assistance from time to time. Okay, my savings and investing, I'm no longer contributing to my emergency fund. That is set and complete. My simple IRA, that's connected to my employment, my self-employment. So that's $525 a month, and that is my goal for this year, to do $525 every month. I have an educational fund, which is an educational savings account for my granddaughter, and that's a tax advantage account, and that money could be spent on K through 12 education or for college. Medical savings, we don't have an HSA because we don't have a high deductible insurance plan, but we do have a deductible and we do have copays and things. So that medical savings account is for a few times a year we need to buy some more expensive medicine. And so it's for that, but also, if we were to have an medical emergency and have our 20% we have to pay, that savings account is there for that. And then house maintenance, repair, is for just ongoing maintenance, for trying to keep our house in good shape and pleasant to live in. That's my goal, is not to just fix up the house to sell. Like, I want to make repairs and small upgrades as we go so that we can enjoy living in our house in a fixed up state. It just makes me sad when people, make their house so nice and don't get to live in it afterwards because they've sold it. So, like, we have bathroom floors we want to replace, and I want to get some new inside doors eventually. So that fund is for that, or any unforeseen expenses like plumbing repairs. All right, the $200 is for my car fund. So that would be any kind of repair we couldn't fit into our budget under flexible spending. Like a transmission or something really big, or like needing all new tires all at once. And then any money we don't use on repairs would go towards a down payment on a used car when we need to replace our used cars. We have a Nissan Leaf, that's our kind of commuter car for my husband, and then a Toyota Highlander, which we use when we have to travel more than 90 miles, which is how far our older model Nissan Leaf can go. So we keep our cars in good repair. We could work in oil changes and things into our regular budget, but this is just for those bigger expenses. And then our Get Busy Living, Get Busy Dying account, that's for fun. Mainly things like more expensive concert tickets that we couldn't work into the budget, or little weekend trips or trips to visit relatives that are short flight away. That account is for that. Our next one down is our long-term dream. So my husband has a little John boat for fishing, and it doesn't have a cover, so it's not too pleasant to fish in the rain. So he wants to just upgrade and get a boat with a cover on it. And that would mean selling the other boat and then paying the difference out of this fund. But then we also have a dream of traveling abroad to Asia. And that would be like a trip of a lifetime. Like, we're going to just go all out for that, fly first class, because I really hate flying. I mean, really, I think I maybe would need to be medicated to fly more than 10 hours. Again, I've had one 10-hour trip and it was really uncomfortable and challenging. Worth it when you get there, I guess. But anyway, so this is like a dream vacation, once in a lifetime thing we're saving for. So that's several years out. So we keep that money in a brokerage account in kind of a lower risk mutual fund, so it can hopefully earn some money. Okay, public, I usually put in $100 a month, but I can bump that up this month. Oh, I should say it was a higher income month for my husband because, they cram all those students into the classroom, and then he gets paid a few times a year overload for having extra students. So this was one of those months. So I'm putting a little extra money into public, which is just the app we use for our brokerage, for one of our brokerage accounts. And that money is just to sit and to grow, and we'll see what we end up doing with it. It may just be incorporated into our retirement, but depending on how our other retirement accounts go, maybe we can use it for other things. Roth IRA is my other retirement account, and I have the goal of $150 a month this year, so I'm able to do a little extra this month. And then my son's ABLE account. ABLE, if you're not familiar, is an account that states have for, and they're called different things, I think, in different states, but for children with a disability, so you have to qualify to have this account. And then that money grows tax-free, and he can use it to pay for his basic living expenses. So there's a lot of rules around that because it is a tax-advantaged account. So that's one account that's specified just for our son. And then he would have, share an inheritance additionally, along with our other children. So I hope you have a will. I have a will. I hope you have a will. Just a reminder to get a will already. You're an adult. No. And Julie says, go get a will. All right, so that's savings and investing. And so I've changed my categories, you may have noticed, and this is just to help me think of the buckets of money that I'm spending. What do I need to spend to actually just be a responsible adult in this world, which I'm calling my bills and being an adult fund. Some people might call it four walls, like Dave Ramsey. Some might call it your fixed expenses, but they're not really fixed. I have some control over, for example, my electricity bill. It's not fixed, so I don't like that word fixed anymore so much. But same with, water. You can control that a little bit. And you have choices of whether to have some bills. But for me, in the life my husband and I are living, these are bills and what we are spending as being an adult, and then we have what we need to spend just to be content and happy in life, and then we have the rich life. Okay, so bills and being an adult, we have property taxes. That's our monthly breakdown. We pay them twice a year. Water, that's water and sewer, and that amount is for every other month. Electricity, mobile phone, and that is 5 adults and 1 business line, and the 3 adults in the business line pay me back, and I offset that under the income. Garbage is garbage, yard waste, recycling through our local company, and then additionally I sign up for Ridwell, which is a company that comes and picks up things like clamshells, styrofoams, light bulbs, batteries, clothes that would otherwise be garbage. You can't give to charity. They're not good enough for that. So basically everything else that would, not everything, but a good majority of things that would end up just in the garbage can, they come and pick up, and it's $26 a month. They pick up twice a month. So that is under garbage as well. Landline, I have to have a landline because I have a licensed childcare with my school. Otherwise, I just have cell phones. Internet, that's our internet bill. Home equity line of credit, so our mortgage, you might notice there's no mortgage in here because that is paid off, but we do have a home equity line of credit. We built an addition off the side of my house. My house is very tiny, 980 square feet. We built an additional 600 square feet for the classroom. We did it in a way that we knew once we were done having the classroom, it would make a good either family room or a room we could rent out to someone or have a relative live in, because it has this own bathroom, little kitchenette, and a little laundry room. So, and then it would add good value to our house. But basically, this $800 I look at is a business expense. We could never rent a classroom anywhere in my town for $800, and it added value to our house. So we see that as a win-win. Auto, gas, and oil. So only one of our vehicles takes gas or oil. And that's about what we end up spending, because we do take little trips out of our city. Our Nissan Leaf only gets 90 miles before it has to be recharged. It's an older model. Medical expenses are basically any kind of copays on medicines we have to buy for my son or my husband. Groceries, toiletries, and cleaning supplies, $1,700 a month. I'm breaking out this category. I realize really all the toiletries and cleaning supplies I do buy at the same time I buy groceries. I don't really buy them any other places other than Costco or a grocery store. So it's all kind of lumped together for now. I don't need to break it down that much. Just setting a goal of not increasing it with the way prices are going and everything, I think is great for me not to have to increase it. Now, last month I just had a food category, and that was actually toiletries and things as well, and eating out. But I broke down eating out and put it in a different section, as you'll see. auto and home insurance. All right, life insurance is pretty high. You'll notice my husband has a small policy. I have a very high policy, and the reason being is we haven't met our financial goals for providing for my son with special needs after our death yet. And so until then, I want a policy that's large, that if we both die, that he can be provided for. So that's the reason for the two bigger life insurance policies. Well, the one bigger life insurance policy and the big monthly payment. Car loan, the basic payment is $343, but I try to pay a little extra each month. So I'm about 130 above so far this month. And then the dental expenses, that's for our share of a root canal that a family member had to have. Okay, so that's it for just the bills for being an adult. So now we'll look at the expenses that bring us some pleasure in life, a little bit of joy and fun in our life. And that is my guilt-free spending amount, and my husband has the same amount. Last month, we didn't spend all of our guilt-free spending. I think we do tend to spend more in the summer. Definitely, like, I go out with friends more in the summer when I'm not working, that sort of thing. But the guilt-free spending is just, we spend that amount and we don't say, hey, do you think I should spend this amount? Because it's just our money to do whatever we want. And we could be content and have been content most of our lives with much less than that. But we're trying to get good at actually enjoying some of our money. We did decades of prioritizing our children, as we should, when they're young, and being frugal and doing really frugal but fun vacations like camping and road trips. And we are being responsible and giving and investing, and yet we still have some money, especially now, the mortgage being paid off and everything, that we can spend a little bit on ourselves. And then whatever we don't spend from this account, we decide where we're going to go. We don't roll over our spending. It'll go to some savings goal. And then other flexible spending is just things that aren't in other categories, but aren't something personally for my husband or I. So like if we needed a new toaster, new microwave, new coffee pot, I don't know, there must be something outside of the kitchen that we might need. A new tool, gardening tool, or leaf blower, that sort of thing. That'd be flexible spending. Mom and dad, my mom's in assisted living, my dad is in memory care, and sometimes they need me to pick something up for them, and then they want to pay me back because they can, and so I just keep track of it and tell them how much I spent. So subscriptions that aren't our TV subscriptions go here. So we have, like Spotify music, Netflix. We have the subscription to, I forget what it's called. I think it's just called Spot. It's a little GPS sort of thing that my son takes with him when he goes adventuring. So he'll be hiking on mountains or something, or in rural areas where he can't get cell phone service. And so this way he can just ping us through the satellite to let us know he's alive. And that's really important to my husband and I, not so important to my son. So he wouldn't pay for that for himself, but we worry about him when he goes out. So we pay for that. So that's one of the subscriptions. Pet care for my dog. I almost said son. Because, he's a member of the family, but he's a dog. Pet care for my dog is, food, occasional treats. He's 5. He's not really into toys. And so we don't really buy those anymore. But he is a high energy Australian Shepherd. And so we do send him to Camp Good Puppy, as we call it, once a week, so he can really get some good exercise in. It's part of keeping him healthy, and hopefully will help save on vet bills. But that's definitely not necessary for life, to send your dog to daycare. I mean, 20 years ago, I would have never imagined sending my dog to daycare. My first 2 dogs did not get to go to daycare. But it's part of having, a content life and feeling good about the way I'm taking care of my dog. And he's bored all day while we're working. So 1 day a week he goes. All right, YouTube TV is our television. So eating out, so this is new this month, is breaking down eating out. A lot of this will be ordering pizza. We have family pizza night, although I'm trying to not always order pizza for that and trying to make pizza sometimes, or even just do a nice frozen pizza. That's a tradition that started when my children were young, when we had just this Tuesday. It was just this one year Tuesday, like we had everything. We had swim team, we had horseback riding, we had Girl Scouts, like all on the same night. And so we would just run through Little Caesars and get a pizza to go, and that would be our dinner. Well, we don't really have that need, but traditions are really important to one of my children. So we just kind of kept it this one night a week having pizza. So most of the eating out will go to there, but also any coffees or like date nights that involve eating out will be there. And then I keep this category of business reimbursement. So if I go shopping and grab something for my school, that can make sure I pay the family back from the school budget. And so I try to avoid having that happen, so I don't have a budget, but I have a place to keep track of it. So business reimbursement. All right, so that is it for just living a content life, and then you'll notice my rich life is like, wow, this is next level is to have a cleaning service. And so we do this once a month, and well, mainly because I don't like cleaning. And then, I mean, my family is good about cleaning up after themselves, but this is just getting, another level of cleanliness. My one son, brings in a lot of dirt, and my dog definitely brings in a lot of dirt. And I spend a lot of time just cleaning the classroom every day. So after the end of my long day, doing any kind of deep cleaning isn't really happening on a regular basis. It's definitely not necessary. I do feel, guilty, so feel free to put in the comments that whether you think it's good or bad to pay other people to clean your house. Well, I don't feel guilty, but I do acknowledge that that is a luxury. So that's my rich life right now. I don't really have any other things. Like, I mean, if I got manicures and stuff, I'd put that under rich life, or Julie's guilt-free spending, I guess. I just am open to the idea that there's something in the future that I might add to this category. You can see over here the totals, like for saving and investing, for my bills and being an adult, for living content life, and for living a rich life. I do have that debt, but I just put it under bills. I don't have a separate debt category. All right, so that's my January budget. Let me know what you think of my broad categories, and I'd love to hear what your broad categories are. Do you like that fixed expenses or four walls, or how do you think about it heading hopefully towards retirement? I think these new categories this year are going to work for me because I can see that the bills and being an adult are the absolute minimum we would want to have to be able to have both of us retire. Okay, thanks for watching, and I really hope to see you in the comments. And let me know what you think of this new format if you've watched previous videos. And here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a video that I hope you'll like, and take care.